Hello everybody. Welcome back for another video. Hope you're all doing well and that you're all having a great day. I don't know why I did that. Welcome back to another News I Missed, where I go over news I missed. As always, likes, comments, and subscriptions, they do help out the channel immensely and are very much appreciated. And without further ado, let's jump right into it. Tokyo-based cryptocurrency trading platform BitBank has confirmed that the listing of ADA is going to take place on their platform. According to a Thursday announcement, the ADA to Japanese yen pair will become available for trading on the exchange in early October, the announcement stated. As reported by You Today, BitBank also added support for Dogecoin and Polkadot in early August. Earlier this week, Switzerland-based cryptocurrency asset management service Swissborg listed Cardano as well last August. Geez Louise, these time jumps. BitPoint became the first Japanese cryptocurrency to add support for Cardano's native coin. Prior to that, Japanese cryptocurrency investors were able to only this is news and quite significant because Japan in the long ago was extremely open to everything crypto. It was Japan and South Korea. I'm sure you've heard this story before. Part of the problem is that when people figure out they can take advantage of something, they usually do. And a number of cryptocurrency companies and coins and protocols began to launch around the world. And a lot of people within Japan and within South Korea began to lose their money because of these fake protocols. Think BitConnect, but on like a much wider scale, because there were many other coins. It's simply that BitConnect was the one that got into the news. And as such, a lot of people, when they're making money, it's fine. But the moment they begin to lose money, they look for, you get what I'm saying. And basically, they found out that tons of these protocols were problems from the beginning. These people went to their regulators. The regulators were, I believe, highly embarrassed because they weren't regulating at all. It was simply, sure, why not? This new thing is floating around our ecosystem. Go for it. And Japan was one of the places that really clamped down. Other places simply screamed, we are going to have regulations. Regulations will be all over this industry. Japan was like, no. First of all, you can only use Bitcoin and Ethereum, and I think it was Litecoin, XRP, and one other coin. These were the only coins that were allowed on crypto exchanges. So think of that. There were no, it was slim pickings compared to the actual rest of the world. And then you started having them announcing, like the actual regulatory agency, like, hey, you can now use this one other coin, and I believe it was earlier this year that they announced that you can now list or add or use Cardano as well. So I think Cardano is one of 7 or 8 coins that are like allowed within Japan, and it's a bit intense, I know, but I mean, that's like, a regulator actually trying to regulate and do things for the people as opposed to. Anyway, so yeah, Cardano is now not only legal in Japan and has been for a while, but now a number of cryptocurrency exchanges are finally adding it to their platform as well. So yeah, absolutely wonderful. There's a lot of, not in this video, but kind of in general, there's been an uptick, I will say, in the amount of Cardano news floating around. I assume it has to do with the hard fork, but even then there's like other, like really good, nice news of good things to come or what's happening or where this is going for Cardano. So I think that's going to be quite interesting to see how this all unfolds in the next couple of months even. Yeah, that's the Cardano BitBank news. And yeah, let's move on. Also in the news, Binance has received yet another license from Dubai's crypto regulator. Binance can now provide more digital or crypto-related services in Dubai. Cryptocurrency exchange. It says cryptocurrency Binance. Geez Louise, another word. Binance announced on Wednesday that it has received the minimal viable product license from Dubai's Virtual Asset Regulatory Authority, or VADA. The announcement details that besides allowing Binance to open a client money account with a domestic bank, having an MVP, is it called an MVP? Wow, minimal viable, it says MVP. License means Binance can offer an approved range of virtual asset related services to suitably qualified retail and institutional investors in Dubai. The approved services are crypto exchange services, conversion between cryptocurrencies and fiat currencies, transfer of crypto assets, custody and management, virtual token offering and trading services, and payments and remittance services as well. So this joins the group of about 4 times a week. Binance has some other news that they either got another license or opened up another office somewhere. I don't have it, once again, all in this video, but you rest assured there's a lot of Binance news that is extremely similar to this, because once again, I'm still shocketh that all the other exchanges aren't doing the exact same thing as Binance. But at this, I mean, it's fairly certain that Binance has won, and I use that term not even lightly. Like, they have clearly won because they are kind of everywhere around the world right now. So good for them. Not really much more to dig into here, if you will. Binance keeps getting new licenses everywhere. They really went above and beyond. Regulators complained for 3 years that they didn't have licenses, and now they have every single license on the planet. And I think they have it feels like over 16 physical locations, if not more, and will continue to do so. So yeah, good job, Binance. Keep making that money. I'm sure these people are like wealthy at this point. It's absolutely insane. All the like powerful friends who they're making. That's the Binance has another, because they just got one like a month and a half ago, another new license in Dubai news. See how easy that is? See how easy it is for like a regulator to be like, we're going to regulate, and then they regulate, and then they make like a digital virtual authority, and then people ask for regulation, and then they get it like a month later, and it doesn't take 7 or 8 years. That's the Binance's new license news in Dubai news. All right, let's news on. Also tying very closely and loosely. There's a thin thread between them. I don't even have to really read through this one. There are a lot of rumblings going on of the CFTC looking over or ruling over or regulating over the cryptocurrency space. The SEC, from what I've been reading on the interwebs, is trying to dig their feet so deep into the ground and basically regulate everything within crypto. We've now gotten to the point where, and if you can believe it, there are tons of like bipartisan bills where they're like, SEC, stop it. You guys look absolutely insane. And former and current CFTC heads, or chairs, if you will, are now coming forward to say, like, no, we don't need the SEC to actually regulate everything. Stable coins can actually be already regulated under current laws. The idea is that, and I mean, it's crystal clear. It's clear as complete day. The SEC is trying to get control over the stablecoin market in particular, because it appears as if many countries are going to be releasing their own central bank digital currencies. And part of the problem that countries are going to have is that people are going to realize relatively soon that not only do stablecoins exist, but they can actually move cross-border without any permission, and they also get you a really good yearly return in comparison to anything that any government is going to remotely try to give you. So they're like, why don't we simply just blanket it under the current banking laws to make sure that it's regulated and whatnot? I think it's only going to work out for a handful of stablecoins. Hear me out here. Once again, this is not me raising a fist, as you know, whatever, saying revolution. It is simply a logical fact. A lot of people have been preparing for stuff like this for a very long time. And I think any regulations on stablecoins will simply fall onto Binance's coin, Circle's coin, and maybe at some point Tether and something else. But anyway, so yeah, there's been a lot, especially the last like 2 days, as far as I can tell, of CFTC into cryptocurrency space news, what they could do for Bitcoin, what they could do for the space, and what they could do for so-and-so. And there's also leads into the, it's not here in this, it's like the 9th time I'm saying that. It's not here in this video, but the Ripple, SEC, CFTC visiting their office, and also all this other news that's been happening there's a lot of news. It's a bit of a doozy. Anyway, yeah, so there's some kind of internal struggle that's going on. None of us are in those rooms to hear exactly what's being discussed, but boy howdy, I assume there's definitely some screaming going on because the SEC believes they should control everything in the ecosystem. But that's just because of... Anyway, that's the CFTC news. And yeah, let's move on. Also all right, after the successful deployment of the merge, Ethereum's co-founder, Vitalik Buterin, expects Zcash and Dogecoin to transition to proof of stake as well. Like I said, sure, Ethereum's recent shift to proof of stake has stirred the crypto community in terms of sustainability. Going a bit too far. Several crypto enthusiasts and climate activists have voiced their opinions on how proof-of-work blockchains in general consume exorbitant amounts of electrical power, which is detrimental to the environment and I'm sure also has a very high electricity bill. Amid all of this, Vitalik Buterin has shared his opinions on existing proof-of-work blockchains, adding that among the leading cryptocurrencies, Zcash and Dogecoin, that they should be shifted towards proof of stake as well. I'm going to give you a bit of a backdrop. In 2017, when Bitcoin really became mainstream, Bitcoin was known before that, 2016 and before, but it wasn't really in your face, in the news. Everyone's talking about it. It's all over the place kind of thing. But then when people realized, two things happened. You had people outside of the cryptocurrency space who began to hate us because people were making really fast, quick, and what seemed to be like easy money. And then you also had people within the cryptocurrency space finding ways to be like, oh, I like Ethereum better, or I like this coin better. And people began to go through the actual metrics of how fast this coin is, how slow this coin is, how many transactions are happening per day, how much money is flowing through it. You've seen all the charts before. We've gone over thousands and thousands of times. One of the main things, one of the nicer things that people used against Bitcoin at that time was its electricity consumption, because we had people like Jamie Dimon, Warren Buffett, old person, talking about, Bitcoin's only being used by illicit members of society, or it's only being used for puff, consume, all these other kind of things. The other thing that people found is that logically, when you have about 38,000 computers in one warehouse, you're going to be using a lot of electricity. People began to compile these numbers together and basically began to say, Bitcoin is using as much electricity as a small town in Argentina. Bitcoin in 15 years can be using as much electricity as Denmark. You've seen the metrics before, etc., etc. By the time we started getting other proof of stake coins, the idea became then, well, Ethereum should definitely be transitioning to proof of stake because look how little electricity Cardano and other proof of stake coins are using compared to Ethereum. So when Ethereum has finally transitioned, now the next topic that comes up is many of the older legacy coins who have had discussions before. Keeping this in mind, this isn't something new. This isn't a revolutionary thing from Vitalik Buterin. This has been a discussion for a number of years as well. As the news was, remember how I kept on screaming and talking for the last 6 years? I was like, this upgrade has taken 6 years. Oh gosh, please let the merge happen because this upgrade has taken 6 years. This has been a discussion for about 4 or 5 years for many other coins as well, because it was believed that we were going to get the merge back in 2018. Didn't happen. But the idea was that as soon as Ethereum did it, other legacy coins would do the exact same thing. And it was mainly Zcash, which was kind of seen as, listen, I don't know anything about privacy coins and I frankly do not care. But the idea has been for a while that Zcash was kind of like the winner among them, the creme de la creme, if you will, at the top. And Dogecoin just being another popular legacy coin, that they would eventually also shift to proof of stake. The idea is kind of, if you will, is that eventually Bitcoin will be the only proof of work coin. That's kind of the mantra. People who are really into Bitcoin have no intention of shifting to proof of stake ever. If that ever happens, it will be a cold day in HE double hockey sticks, and I don't think it's ever actually going to take place. But now the discussion is rolling around Zcash and Dogecoin. Do I think they're going to do it? Probably not. I think Zcash could, ask the community if they want to do it. A lot of people do believe that proof of work is far more stable than proof of stake. Sure, not getting into it. I don't really care. Sure, amazing. And then also for Dogecoin, the idea is that Muskie really seemingly believes that, using less electricity is kind of the way to go. And this is allegedly, is not. Why he chose Dogecoin over Bitcoin, because he was like, Bitcoin uses too much so-and-so, but I believe that Dogecoin could eventually transition to a more environmentally friendly thing. So I could see it happening for Dogecoin. It doesn't take much to really get people rallying around something. If people get any indication that Dogecoin could go to $1.25 if there was a move to proof of stake, and Elon Musk was like, the moment we go to proof of stake, I'm accepting it for rocket ships that could take you to Mars. They would do it. The entire community would rally behind him because it's Muskie. And anyway, so yeah, there's a lot of, I'm not sure why this has been a thing. The last 10 days, Buterin has really entered the news as like a solemn, humble figure. As in, he's talking a lot more about what he expects for the world and for the environment and what he wants to do with proof of stake and how he thinks proof of stake can save the world. And he wasn't doing this before. Remember, 29 days ago, he was taking photos with what appeared to be something in his pantaloons and saying really weird things about Cardano and other coins and picking fights with people. But a lot of the news now is monk Vitalik Buterin and how he thinks that, we could go to a better place. Anyway, that's the Vitalik Buterin is expecting Zcash and Dogecoin to go to proof of stake. I don't know. I mean, anything can happen. This is a very weird market. I'm sure you've noticed 1,000 times. So, anything can happen. But also expect another Zcash fork and a Dogecoin proof of work fork, because you gotta cash grab. You can't you can't just let people have nice things and simply transition to proof of stake. You got to make sure that you become greedy and destroy an entire ecosystem as well. So that's the Vitalik Buterin news. Yeah. Why did I go? Yeah, like a little dog. Let's move on, like a little chihuahua. Also in the news, Tether has announced they're going to be not moving to. They're going to be putting Tether on the Polkadot network as well. The claim normally is this is done for decentralization, which is actually true. That's not true. But Tether is one of the very few coins, I think, who has, this is my opinion, having been in this space for a while. I think that they've understood where regulations are going to go. And I think Tether's now on 9 different chains. So the idea is if someone does somethingly kick in a door and says, hey, Tether, you got to stop what you're doing. Well, they can stop Tether on the Tether chain, but on the other chains, it's still moving in a decentralized manner, if you will. So they've done this for many other coins. I love that. I tried pointing at the screen, but you can't, you're not. Anyway, the word Tezos is here. That's what I found really funny. It's talking about Polkadot, but the word Tezos is here. So they just kind of reused an image. Anyway, cool. Good for them. I hope it works out. Tether has had a very crazy long legacy. But once again, at least in my view, from what I've seen, everything controversial about Tether really only picked up when we got indications that other countries were going to be making the exact same thing like Tether, but with fiat currencies. So it makes sense that they would not like it, and it's very easy to spread a hate campaign. It's not that difficult at all. It barely takes a couple $100 million, if even. So, right, that's the Tezos news. It says it right here. What's wrong? Why can't I read? 11 different blockchains now have Tether on it. 11. Right. Good job, Tether. I assume by the end of this year, it'll be 15. Next year, it'll be 20 something. And then at that point, you can't really get rid of Tether, but you know, let's move on. Right. Hope you all had a great week. Hope your week was weeky to you. Hope it wasn't too stressful. I was away for a bit. I am back now. I had a stressful week. I'm doing way too much. If you haven't been able to tell, I now have 3 YouTube channels. I'm working on the podcast thing sometimes. I've gotten back basically full time into doing art. I have other small projects coming up as well. I don't know. Kind of restless, trying to figure out like what to do in general, trying to expand in certain ways. And the stress just kind of comes with it. I do hope that you've all enjoyed. I do hope that you all are having a great day, a great morning, great afternoon, great evening, wherever you are, wherever you might be. I do hope it's absolutely fantastic. Thank you all once again for watching, listening, commenting, and or supporting. And I will most certainly be talking to you all soon. See you.